Now we're going to take a look at the intermediate example. A few performance notes for this. We're going to be using alternate picking, palm muting and accenting, which we looked at in the examples earlier in this DVD. So let me just play the opening riff and then we'll break that down. So here we go. Okay, starting off, we're going to play a D power chord, which is 5th fret on the A, 7th fret on the D, and then we're going to slide that up to an E power chord. So we're going to have... Then we're going to go to the E power chord, which is open E and 2nd fret on the A, and we're going to play 2 palm muted downstrokes and then an open chord. So we're going to have this. Okay, now after that, we're going to go to the G chord, which is 3rd fret on the low E, 5th fret on the A. And then we've got another kind of riff idea, which is going to start on the 7th fret on the A. I'd recommend doing this with the little finger and using our first 2 fingers as well. So we're going to have 7th fret on the A, 5th fret on the low E, and 3rd fret on the low E. So we're going to have... Then we're going to go to the 5th fret on the A, then play 5, 3, 5 on the low E. Okay, so let me just play the G and then that riff afterwards. And when you combine it with the rest of the riff, it should sound like this. Okay, now we're going to look at the second part of the riff, and it's going to look like this. Okay, so we're doing the D, slide up to E power chord again, 2 downstroke palm muted open E's, then an open E, so without palm muting. Then we're going to go to the G, then slide up to the 8th fret on the low E. Then we're going to play 7th fret on the A, 10th fret on the A. Then we're going to play the 8th fret on the low E. Then we're going to play 10, 9 on the A. Then finish up on 10 on the low E. So we've got this. Okay, so far with the first riff, it should sound like this. Okay, now for the next part, we're just going to play the same riff as what we started with, so we're going to have this. Then to finish off this first riff, we're going to go up and we're going to play a chord starting on the 8th fret on the low E, then the 10th fret on the A, and then we're going to play the 12th fret on the D, so it's going to be a 9th power chord. So it's going to be a C. So we're going to play that twice with 2 downstrokes. Then we're going to move that whole shape up 2 frets. So we're now going to be playing a D chord. And we're playing 10 on the low E, 12 on the A, and then 14 on the D. And we're going to play that 3 times. Okay, so all of those examples back to back should sound like this. Okay, now all of those examples make up what we're going to call riff 1. Okay, now we're going to look at the second riff. Here it is. Okay, for this next riff, we're going to be starting off with palm muting, and we're going to be playing an E minor power chord, and we're going to have 5 palm muted downstrokes in a row. So we're going to have... Then we're going to have a quick down, up, down, so we're going to be using alternate picking as well. So Then we're going to have accent, palm muted chord, accent. So we're going to have, and there's a certain amount of left hand muting going on in there as well. So that whole first part of the riff slow should sound like this. Okay, now that's the first time round, and then we're going to repeat the alternate picking and accents after that. So after that, it's going to sound like this. Okay, so we're going to have 3 palm muted downstrokes. Then we're going to have alternate picking with down, up, down. Then accent, palm muted, and then accent. So we're going to have this. Okay, so when you join that onto the first time, what will happen is that second part of the riff that I just played will get repeated another 2 times. Then at the end, we're going to have a riff which is going to go like this. And that's going to start on the 3rd fret on the A, and then 5th fret on the A, 2nd fret on the A, so we're going to have, then 3rd fret on the low E, and then the 1st fret on the low E. So a really slow tempo, just so you can really hear what's going on, it should sound like this. And to the actual backing track, that's repeated 4 times. So let me just play it a little bit quicker so it just sounds more like the performance. Okay, now with all those parts together, we're going to call that riff 2. Now we're going to take a look at riff 3, and it's going to be using the same sort of picking pattern as what we were using in riff 2, but we're going to have 2 alternate picking sections back to back at the end. So we're going to have down, up, down, down, up, down. Okay, let me just play through the first chord slow using the rhythm that I've just explained, and then we'll break it down. So here we go. Okay, so what we're doing there is we're doing 5 palm muted downstrokes on the F sharp chord that we're playing. So that's 2nd fret on the low E, 4th fret on the A. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we've got a down, up, down, accent, palm mute, accent. Then we've got 2 more palm muted F sharps. Then we've got down, up, down, down, up, down. Okay, so let me just play that real slow again, just so you can keep that explanation in your head while watching. So here we go. Okay, now that right hand pattern is going to be the same pattern that we're going to use for the next 2 chords. So we're going to just move the next chord up to G, 3rd fret low E, 5th fret on the A. And we're going to do the same thing again. Each one of these chords is played once using this sequence. Okay, so when we play the F sharp chord and the G chord back to back, it should sound like this. And now we're going to move up to the A power chord. And we've got 5 on the low E, 7 on the A. Do the same pattern again. Okay, the next chord we're going to play is a B9 chord, and we're going to play 8 on the low E, 10 on the A, and then 12 on the D. And we're just going to play an accented first chord and then 3 palm muted downstrokes after. So we're going to have. Okay, and then we're going to move that up and we're going to do the same thing again. So we're playing a D9 power chord this time. So those two chords again a little bit quicker. So when you add that with the other examples that we were looking at, it should sound like this. Okay, now that whole section will be known as riff 3. Now, directly after riff 3, we're going to go back to riff 1 again, and we're going to repeat the whole sequence again with riff 1, riff 2, then riff 3, and then we're going to finish up on E. And we're just going to hold that E chord until the backing track fades out, and then turn off the guitar. At this point, I'd just like to point out another tip with rhythm playing, is when you're not playing, turn off the guitar. Because especially when you're in a live situation, if you leave the volume put on and you've got loads of gain, it's going to start to feed back, depending on what pickups you've got and if they're vibrating and all that kind of stuff. But generally, if you leave the volume put on, then you're going to kind of get a little bit of feedback, and while you're not playing, you don't really want that. So whenever you kind of finish playing, soloing or rhythm playing, just kind of make it a habit of turning off the guitar. So it kind of sounds like, you meant to stop there, and, it just sounds tighter and a lot cleaner. So just kind of bear that in mind.